Hi, my name is Kenneth Paul, and this is my woodworking shop. Each week I try to produce a video to share either a project or a technique with you. This week's project is another pistol case, this time for a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. I'll talk you through particularly the inset design I use for the lids of my pistol cases. There are several ways of doing it. I'll tell you which way I use and why I use that particular technique. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, this is the Smith & Wesson pistol case, and you can see here the inset design, which, as I said on the previous pistol case, means that instead of just being mortised into the surface, that design is the full thickness of the lid. Basically, you cut a negative hole and then cut a positive piece to fit into it. The sides of the box are Brazilian cherry. The lid is cherry and curly maple. The base is some very nice curly cherry. Proportions are like the previous pistol case. I use the golden rectangle 1 to 1/6.1. So this box is 10 by 16 and 1/8. When cutting an inset design like this, I generally start at what I think is going to be the most difficult area. And by difficult area, I mean if you look right here, when cutting this piece of the Smith & Wesson design, what you're going to leave when you cut this negative out, before you put that piece of cherry in, you're going to be left with a very fragile little piece of maple. You've got to be really careful. Once this piece is cut out, I cut the piece of cherry, then epoxy that in to support that piece before I start cutting anything else. Generally, I take that approach for the whole design. I cut a negative piece into the maple, then I cut the cherry positive piece that goes into it, fit that piece, glue it in place before moving on to the next piece. How I tend to do this is I take my pattern, print it out, I glue one piece onto a sheet of maple, one sheet onto a piece of cherry, the same piece, the same design. And when I'm cutting out the maple, what I tend to do is cut just inside of center of the line. And when I'm cutting the cherry, I tend to cut just outside of center of the line, which makes very tight-fitting pieces that I have to just file a little bit to get them to fit right. What you can do, and because these are both 3/8 of an inch thick, I don't like to do it on this, but if you're better on a scroll saw than I am, you might be able to do it. You can stack cut, which is to say put the maple and the cherry together on a stack. I either glue the corners or use double stick tape. Tilt your table on your scroll saw just a very slight degree, just a degree or two. Cut the design out, and then the pieces you have will fit into each other. I don't have good luck doing that on thicker pieces like this, but that is a way to do it. I tend to cut one negative hole at a time, then fit the positive piece to it. Alright, let's take a look inside. And these are just snap caps in the cartridge block, which has brass liners, spare magazine, a miscellaneous box that I use a Smith and Wesson hat pin for a knob, and a Smith and Wesson iron-on patch I applied to the back wool felt. Take the pistol out. And again, like the last case, I apply wool felt to a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, glue that, hot glue that to the top. I do the same thing on the base. Then I take a piece of 2x, trace the pistol and whatever other cutouts I want, and then wrap that on wool felt, stapling it from behind, and then sitting that 2x in place with more hot glue. Then I just put in the cartridge block and then the 2 pieces for the little storage box. And again, the lock is available from Woodcraft Supply. And again, barrel hinges and a Brusso lid support. The barrel hinges are installed using the same technique I used on the rifle case and the other pistol case, where I pre-drill the holes in the backboard before building the box. Therefore, they stay aligned. You can change the layout however you particularly like it for the pistol cutouts. You can do multiple magazines. You don't need a cartridge block or a small compartment. I like to see a little variety, but if you're looking to see, you could put, like I say, as many magazines as you want. You could put a larger cartridge block. You could make spots for cleaning supplies. There's any number of things you can do to personalize your pistol case. And again, as I mentioned on the rifle case, one of the nice things about this kind of a project, it doesn't require a lot of material, it doesn't require a lot of tooling, and it sells well. The outer circle, I used a circle cutting jig on a router. First I cut out, after I was finishing letting my design into a piece of maple, I took that piece of maple, cut that with a circle cutting jig, and then cut a mating hole into a piece of cherry. Then I cut a larger circle on the piece of cherry, and then inset that circle into the lid. Alright, well, I hope this box gives you some inspiration and ideas for your own. Again, either for a customer or for yourself. And as always, if you like the content I'm producing, please do me a favor and hit subscribe, hit like. It helps. Alright, thank you very much. You have a good day. Bye-bye.